Good morning, liveweatherblogs.com meteorologist Bob Acanfrio with our tropical update for Saturday, September 4th, 2010. Couple areas to watch today for development. I'll show you those in a minute. We have Tropical Storm Earl finally making its landfall across southeastern Nova Scotia this morning. As of 8 a.m., it was located about 40 miles south of Cape Sable, North Nova Scotia, right in here. And maximum sustained winds were at 70, and it's racing off to the northeast at 30. So through the morning hours, it'll move right across Nova Scotia. Expect some good tropical storm force winds across the island, especially on the eastern end here, as the convective bands with this system actually got a little better as it raced north. And a lot of times when these things start undergoing extratropical transition, they actually get better organized, and the wind field actually gets bigger. So pretty stormy morning and part of the day for Nova Scotia this morning, and this will spread up towards Newfoundland later in the day and then through the overnight hours. So our Canadian friends are probably bearing the brunt of what Earl has to offer with this storm. And here you can see the satellite view this morning. You can see, look at how that nice little convective band's moving right over the eastern shore of Nova Scotia here. So they're in for a stormy morning this morning, but this will be my last update on Earl. We'll say goodbye to Earl after this morning, and it's been a very interesting storm to forecast, and thank God it spared the East Coast of any destruction this time around. So hopefully we could be this lucky the rest of the season. All right, what else we have? Well, we have the possible return of Gaston. It's looking like it was going to get some convection around its center last night, but as you can see, the convection's starting to wane a little bit of easterly shear. You can see a little low-level center kind of exposed in here, starting to become exposed. Pretty close to tropical depression status. We'll have to see. I don't have a ASCAT this morning. I was trying to look and see what the winds look like and such. Maybe I could pop that up in the blog a little bit later, but looks like pretty close. Could see a tropical depression or even tropical storm Gaston sometime this weekend, possibly later today or tomorrow. Just depends if this convection could start building again around it. So we'll watch for that over the weekend, and I'll show you where Gaston might be going in a second here. Gulf of Mexico, a little blow up here in the Bay of Campeche. We've kind of a tropical wave move through here. Kind of a not much wind shear in here, upper high building over it, but time is on its side. This is going to move into Mexico as it continues west-northwest. We have high pressure building here over Texas, so it's not going to be able to move north. So time on its side with this one, and because of that, I don't see this developing. So the bigger picture, here we go. There's that disturbance in the Bay of Campeche. We still watch this Tut feature here, slipping west and southwest. So you see Earl still embedded in that dry air. It becomes more moist as we get towards the islands. So now the race is on. Will Earl run into this high shear from this Tut, or will it stay far enough east to be in a little better wind shear environment? So that's going to be the factors over the next couple days, whether this develops or not. A lot of the models eventually develop Earl as it nears the islands by midweek. So really going to have to watch for that. I believe if it could survive this shear here and this Tut moves out of the way, then yes, Earl does have a better chance of development. We're just going to have to see the next couple days if it could survive this wind shear. If it runs into this wind shear, then it could be all over for Gaston. But if it stays far enough east, then it has a good chance of developing as it nears the Leeward Islands by midweek. So here's that shear forecast. Here's the current shear, not the forecast. And you can see here's that Tut. So it's still keeping its distance from that higher shear. The higher shear is right about in here. So it's going to have to keep its distance. It can't race too far west and then run into this shear. It could be trouble. So again, a lot of the models do keep this distance far enough away where it does get into a favorable environment once it nears the island. So that's what we'll be watching for this weekend. And you see, where is it going? Well, here it goes. It's going west. Upper high right in here, subtropical high to its north. And actually, this high is even, once we get the remnants of, once we get Earl out of the way, remnants of Fiona out of the way, this high pressure is actually going to build even stronger here. So this is moving into the Caribbean. I still believe that. I've believed that for the last 3-4 days. and it's really going to be interesting to see where it eventually goes. Here's most of the models, and you can see most of the models still pointing to a move across the Leeward Islands and into the Caribbean Sea. And waters are very warm in here, and if we could get this storm to start to develop near the islands and move into the Caribbean, we could be seeing a hurricane in this area with light wind shear and very warm waters. Then the key will be, does it continue to move west, or does it, if it comes more towards the northern islands and near Puerto Rico and such, there will be a trough moving off the east coast and a little bit of a weakness here by next weekend, by the end of next weekend. So if it's farther north, it could feel the effects of that and kind of move up more towards the north, or will it be so far south that it doesn't feel those effects and continues west? So that's the million-dollar question right now. If Gaston develops, where will it go? I believe if it's farther south in the Caribbean, it's moving west. I believe if it could get up into this area here, it might be induced a little farther north. So we'll have to see. Those are the two things. GFDL, again, believes Gaston's going to develop more as it gets towards the Leeward Islands and then into the Caribbean there. So GFDL keeps it kind of weak till it gets into that area. Latest GFS model. Here, we're going to run this model here. You can see, again, keeps Gaston rather weak right in this area here. And then as it gets towards the islands, kind of, again, develops a little further. And then, like I showed you before, we're going to have that weakness right in here as a little trough pulls off the coast right here. And then does it get into that weakness? GFS says yes and pulls it off the coast. Again, that's too far out. And you see, again, the GFS also develops the next wave off of Africa. Not our current one. This is 99L. I'll show you that in a minute. Kind of dissipates that, moves northwest, but actually develops the next one off the African coast and then moves it west. Euro model does have Gaston, kind of weak though. Here he is. I'll just follow him right here, and then kind of starts to develop it once it gets into the Western Caribbean, but it keeps it farther west as high pressure is pretty much in control. And then again, it does develop that same wave off the African coast and again moves it west. So looks like we're going to have a lot of storms to keep following as these systems come off the African coast. Still going to have a lot of dry air in the eastern Atlantic, so they're going to be slow developers, it looks like. Initially not much, but if they can get intact and come far enough west, then they'll have a chance to develop. And again, here's the bigger picture. We have Earl, remnants of Fiona moving over and through Bermuda this morning. Our other little area of disturbed weather here I don't believe this is going to develop, not enough time. Here's Gaston. And then we have Invest 99L, kind of a broad area here, not very organized. We'll be kind of watching this next wave to come off of Africa as a lot of the models want to develop that one. So that's it for my update today. I may have another update tomorrow. If not, I'll have another update Monday morning for you guys. Have a safe and fun Labor Day weekend, and stay tuned to liveweatherblogs.com this weekend for any latest weather developments. Have a good day.